Good afternoon, students. Stop chit chatting over there and please concentrate here, students. Okay. So, yesterday we had left with exercise 1.3, right? Did we do the last sum? Third is completed. Right, students? So, let us do the fourth one now. Fourth question. Write down all the subsets of the following sets. We have to write the subsets. First one is, they have given us set A. They have given us set A. So we have to write subsets of this set. So which is the first subset, students? See, before writing the subsets, to verify whether you have done it correct or wrong, what you have to do is count the number of subsets first. Now since this set is having, see, suppose let us name it, give it some name. Suppose I will give it as A. So this is my set A, which contains single element. Okay. So this is my set A, which contains single element. I have given it just a name. Okay. Now if it has one element, then what is the total number of subsets it will have? Yes. What is the total number of subsets it will have, students? What is the total number of subsets? See, I already told you. If a set has m elements, then total number of elements, total number of subsets possible for that set will be 2 to the power m, right? So here, since this set is having only single element, total number of subsets possible for this set is 2 to the power 1, that is 2. So how many subsets are possible for this set, students? There are 2 possible subsets. Now let us see which are those 2 subsets. Okay, first subset will be empty set. As empty set is a subset of every set, it is the first subset of this set. Second subset, set containing single element. Of course, this set contains single element, so that is only the subset, as the set itself is the subset of itself. Second subset will be the set itself. So these 2 are my possible subsets of this set A. Right, students? Let us take second example. Again, let me give it as a name. Set A is equals to A comma B. Now tell me how many subsets are possible for this set A? Yes, how many subsets are possible? Please everyone answer. What about others? Very good. 4 subsets are possible. Why? Because this set has 2 elements. So total number of subsets of this set will be 2 to the power 2, that is 4. So we have 4 subsets. Now let us find what are those 4 subsets. First subset will be what, students? Of course it will be empty subset. Second subset will be singleton set. First it will contain element A, and third subset will be again singleton set. It contains element B. And which will be my last subset? Which will be my last subset, students? Yes, which will be my last subset? Very good. Set containing A and B. You should not just say it as A and B. You should say set containing A and B. So these are my 4 subsets. Right? So you should say it as set containing A and B. Now let us go for the third one. Let me give it again a name as 1A. So it contains 3 elements. 1, 2 and 3. What is the total number of subsets possible for this set? Very good. It is 8 because it contains 3 elements. So total number of subsets possible for this set will be 2 to the power 3. And that is nothing but 8. So we need to write all the 8 subsets. First subset will be empty set. Second subset will be singleton set, which contains the first element. Third subset will be again singleton set, which contains the second element, that is 2. Fourth subset will be again the single element which contains the third element, that is 3. Now, which will be fifth subset, students? It contains two elements. Let me take first and second. Next, again it contains two elements. Let me take it second and third. Next, again it contains two elements. Let me take it first and third. And lastly, set itself will be the subset, right? So we'll write the whole set. So here you can observe we have got 8 subsets of this set. We have got 8 subsets of this set. Right? I hope you all are understanding. These are very easy. Yes, students? Okay. Last one. Fourth, they have given us empty set. See, empty set we can write it like this also, right? We can write it like this also. Now tell me what are the possible subsets? Only once. See, in empty set, we don't have any elements, right? See, I can write it as like this. A is equals to empty set. So this is my empty set. So as we all know the definition of empty set is a set which does not contain any elements. So there are 0 elements, you can say, right? So if it has 0 elements, what is the total number of possible subsets empty set can have? Of course, by the formula, you know 2 to the power 0. Why 0? Because empty set doesn't have any elements, so you can take it as 0. So it has 2 to the power 0 possible subsets. What is 2 to the power 0? What is value of 2 to the power 0? What is the value of 2 to the power 0? Is it 0? No, students. Anything to the power 0 will be always equal to 1. Remember this. Any real number you take, any real number or any variable you take, it may be anything, but if its exponent is 0, then its value is always equal to 1. Please remember this. Anything to the power 0 will be always equal to 1. So here 2 to the power 0 will be equal to 1. So empty set, number of possible subsets for an empty set will be 1, not 0. Okay? Please remember this concept, students. Anything to the power 0 will be always equal to 1. And also remember this as a result. How many subsets do a empty set can have? They can ask you such questions. How many subsets does an empty set can have? Then you must answer it as 1. Always you will be having one subset for an empty set. Is that fine? So here one subset will be what? That will be also empty only. Right, students? That will be also empty set. So empty set is the only set which will have only one subset. Is that fine? Please remember these all things as results. Okay? But do not forget this. Anything to the power 0 will be always equal to 1. Is that fine with you all? Yes? Everyone? I hope you are not confused. See, in 5th question also they have asked the same thing. How many elements has P of A? Means in P of A we have how many elements if A is equals to null set. So how many elements P of A will have, students? Now answer. If A is an empty set, how many elements P of A will have? Let us go by the definition. What is P of A? It is power set, right? So as power set is collection of all subsets. So as I told you, empty set only it will have only one subset. So how many elements will be there in power set? Very good. It will be equal to 1. So number of power sets of a set of an empty set will be always equal to 1. Right? Next 6th question. We have to write the following intervals. First, x such that x belongs to R, x belongs to R and -4 less than x less than or equal to 6. Now as we all have done open intervals and closed intervals, I told you open interval a comma b means it will include all real numbers between a and b, but it will not include b. I have already told you, right? So it would look something like this, strictly less than. It will not include the endpoints. But what about closed interval a and b? It will include all real numbers between a and b, as well as it will include a and b. That is, as well as it will include the endpoints. So you will write it as a less than or equal to b, less than or equal to x, less than or equal to b. So here you can observe endpoints are included, right? So now let us use these concepts here. Here by this statement, what will be the interval, students? Minus 4 less than x less than or equal to 6. Please observe carefully. Here it is strictly less than. So minus 4 is not included. Here minus 4 is not included. So that would be open interval. If it is not included, then that would be open interval. If it is included, then that would be closed interval. Here 6 is included, right? It is less than or equal to 6. So 6 is included. So here for 6 you will get closed interval. For 6 you will get closed interval. Mohammed, did you understand? Open when it is not included, and closed when it is included. Second one, answer now. So the interval given here is minus 12 less than x less than minus 10. What will be the interval? Please answer. Here, very good, right answer. Here both the endpoints are not included. So on both sides you will have open interval. That would be minus 12, minus 10. Right? Minus 12, minus 10. See what they have given us. Suvarna, they have said that x belongs to R and x lies between minus 12 and minus 10. Means this set will include all the real numbers between minus 12 and minus 10. It doesn't just say minus 11. I'll show you the difference. If someone is saying that x belongs to natural numbers and minus 12 is less than x less than minus 10. X belongs to natural number and minus 12 is less than x less than minus 10. Then you can say that x will be minus 11. It will be only one number. Because between minus 12 and, sorry. See, if it is like this, if someone is saying that x belongs to natural number and x lies between 10 and 12, then you can say that x will be single quantity, that is 11. Because between 10 and 11, we have only one natural number, that is 11. So you can take x as 11. But if I am saying that x belongs to real numbers and minus 12 is less than x less than minus 10, then between minus 12 and minus 10, between minus 12 and minus 10, there are infinitely many real numbers. Right, students? There are infinitely many real numbers. So you can't write it as a single quantity. So you will write that in terms of intervals. There comes the use of intervals. Right? So here how we will write it? Minus 12, minus 10. It is not just minus 11. Here you have infinitely many real numbers. So as this minus 12 is not included, you will write it in open interval. Both minus 12 and minus 10 are not included. So you will write it in open interval. Right, students? Here x belongs to real numbers, not natural numbers. So this is very important. So whenever they are giving you a set in set builder form, read it properly, each and everything. Whether it is natural number or real number or integer or positive integer or negative integer, those all things are very, very important. Is that clear now, Suvarna? Yes, is it clear? Let us go for the next question. And that is, next interval given is, here also x belongs to R and 0 is less than or equal to x less than 7. Now tell me the right interval, students. Here 0 is included. Maryam is correct. Mohammed, again you are making mistake. See, 0 is included. So here you will have closed interval. 7 is not included. So at 7 you will have open interval. Mohammed, concentrate please. I hope you understood now. 0 is included here. So at 0 we will have closed interval. Here 7 is not included. So at 7 we will have open interval. Right? Let us go for the next one. Fourth, 3 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 4. Now tell me what will be the interval? Very good. Right answer. Here both 3 and 4 are included. So you will have closed interval. Closed interval 3, 4. Right? I hope everyone understood now. Mohammed, is it clear to you? Or should I repeat? Okay. Let us go for the next question. Next question, write the following intervals in set builder form. Now we have to do it ulta. Suppose now they have given us 7th. First one, x such that, sorry, they have given us the interval minus 3, 0. Now observe here students, I'll show you the first example, then you have to tell me the rest. Now here they have given us the interval minus 3, 0, and at both endpoints it is open interval. So what can you say? You can say that both the endpoints are not included, right? So let us write it in set builder form. Let us give it some name. Let us represent the set by some capital letter A. So how you will write it? X such that, since it is an interval, always remember if it is an interval, it will include all the real numbers. So x such that x belongs to R, you have to first write this, and minus 3 less than x less than 0, because both minus 3 and 0 are not included since it is open interval. So both are not included. So here you will get strictly less than and strictly greater than. Is that fine, students? I hope you understood. Second interval is 6, 12. Now can you tell me, can you write this set in set builder form? Represent that set with set B. Can you tell me what will be my set in set builder form? It is closed interval 6, 12. What will be the set, students? Anyone? On both sides it is closed interval. So what will be the answer? Are the endpoints included or not included? Yes? Very good. It is x such that, these things you have to write, students. X belongs to R, means x is a real number, and x should lie between 6 and 12. And both 6 and 12 are included because we have closed intervals on both the sides. We have closed intervals on both the sides. Only one student is answering. What about the rest? Please do answer, students. Third one, interval is open 6, closed 12. Means it is semi-open, semi-closed. Now tell me, what will be the set? Let me give it as the name C. So x such that, I'll write it this for you. X belongs to real numbers. And what about the inequality sign? It is open at 6 and closed at 12. Means it is semi-open and semi-closed. How will you write it in set builder form? Very good. Here it is, since it is open at 6, 6 is not included. And since it is closed at 12, 12 will be included. So this will be in set builder form. Right? What about fourth? Minus 23 5. So it is semi-closed, semi-open interval. It is semi-closed, semi-open interval. So let me give it name as D. D is equals to X such that X belongs to R. And what about the inequality? I want someone else to answer. We have 30 students here. Only 3 to 4 students are answering. What about the others? Minus 23. See here. Minus 23, it is closed interval. So minus 23 is included. Minus 23 is included. At 5, we have open interval. So this 5 is not included. So you will have strictly less than sign. Right? Here, since minus 23 is included, since it is closed interval, you will have less than or equal to. And since here at 5 it is open interval, it is not included. So it will be strictly less than 5. Right? Now, 8th question, it is about universal sets. So let us see whether you have understood universal sets or no. So what they have asked us is, what universal set would you propose for each of the following? For each of the following, what universal set you would propose? First, they have given us set of right triangles. Set of right triangles. And second one, they have given us set of isosceles triangles. As we all know the definition of universal set, it is a set which contains everything which is suitable. I told you it should be suitable. Now tell me, by looking at these two sets, what would be my universal set? As you all know, we will denote it by capital U. So can you tell me what will be my universal set, students? By looking at these two sets, can you tell me which is that set which contains everything that is suitable? Means which is that set which contains both these sets and is suitable? Very good, Mariam. It is set of all triangles. It is set of all triangles. So you can observe this universal set will contain both these sets and it is suitable. These both sets are proper subsets of U. And hence this will be universal set. Very good. 9th question. Given the sets A is equals to they have given 3 sets. A is equals to 1, 3, 5. B is equals to 2, 4, 6. C is equals to 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. So these are my 3 sets given, A, B and C. Okay. Now which of the following will be considered as universal set for all the sets A, B and C? So we have given 4 sets. Tell me which of the 4 options is correct. Very good. It is third option, right? So what is third option? U is equals to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this would be my universal set because it contains all these 3 sets and is more suitable. And of course, these all 3 sets A, B and C are proper subsets of U. Are proper subsets of U. Right, students? So I hope you all have understood exercise 1.3 perfectly. Do you have any doubts in exercise 1.3? Yes, students? Any doubts in exercise 1.3? Anyone? If you have any doubts, then just clear it right now. Which Sufyan? Third one. In third main, which question? In third, you want to do fifth one. Means are you talking about this question? In third main, fifth question is 1 is subset of A. Are you asking this? Yes? I hope you're asking this, right? Abu Sufyan. Which question you're asking? Is it this? Second, third one. In second main, third one. Second main, third one. Okay. In second main, we have third question as this. 1, 2, 3 is subset of 1, 3, 5. So I hope you're asking this question. Is it true or false? Yes, is it this question, students? Abu Sufyan. Is it this question? Okay. So listen here. Now they are asking that whether it is true or false. Now subset meaning is what, students? If A is subset of B, then every element in this set A will be in this set B. Right? If every element in this set A is in set B, then you say that A is subset of B. Now observe here. In this first set, we have elements 1, 2 and 3. So for this statement to be true, means for this set to be subset of this set, these 3 elements should be in this set, right? But observe here, we have 1, we have 3. But what about 2? This element 2 is not in my second set, right? So we have one element in this first set which is not there in second set, and hence this statement is false. In fact, this is not a subset of 1, 3, 5, right? So it is not subset of set containing 1, 3 and 5. I hope you understood. Did you understand now? Okay. Any other doubts? Anyone? If you're having doubt, then just let me know. Okay, so shall we proceed to the next concept now then? Next concept is Venn diagrams. It is very interesting concept. Venn diagrams. This Venn diagrams name is named after John Wayne. This Venn diagrams, it is named after the scientist John Wayne. So these Venn diagrams will help us to understand the relationship between the sets very easily. You will understand it how. Okay. So what is the help? What do these Venn diagrams help us? It helps us to understand the relationship between the sets. So these Venn diagrams have certain protocols, students. What are those protocols? It consists of rectangles and circles. Rectangles will represent the universal set and circles will represent the subsets. Let us take one example and understand. Suppose we have set A which is equals to 1, 2 and 3. And suppose we have universal set, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. So suppose this is my set A, 1, 2, 3, and universal set is, it contains 1 to 10 elements. Yes, correct, Mohammed. So on the whole, we are studying the relationship between sets by using this Venn diagrams. So as I told you, rectangles represent universal sets and circles represent subsets. Now of course this A will be subset of this universal set, right? So let us represent this set in terms of Venn diagram. So rectangles will represent universal universal set. So this whole thing will be my universal set. This whole thing will be my universal set. And subsets we will represent by circles. So this is my subset A. So in my subset A, in my set A, we have 3 elements. Let me write this. 1, 2 and 3. And remaining elements of universal set we will write it outside. So you can observe here, students, this A is subset of universal set. In my set A, it contains elements of A, and remaining elements we will write it outside. So you can observe here, set A is proper subset of universal set. Set A is proper subset of universal set. Right? So this you can observe by looking at the Venn diagram. You can easily tell the relationship between the sets. Right? Furthermore, we will study few more properties, operations on sets. From that, you will be very more curious about how to represent the sets through Venn diagrams. Now, first, is this concept clear? Definition of Venn diagrams? Is it clear, students? Okay. Now let us proceed further. Now next we are going to study operations on sets. As in case of numbers, we have operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. These are fundamental operations, right, in case of numbers. Similarly, in case of sets, we have operations. We have 3 operations. First one is union. Second one is intersection. And third one is difference. So we are going to study these 3 operations on sets. And also we will study through Venn diagrams how shall we represent these operations. Okay? So one by one we will start with the operations. First one is union of sets. So what is this union of sets? Union means what? Get together, right? Union means get together. So in this union of sets, suppose I will take 2 sets A and B. What is A union B? Union of sets is usually denoted by U, capital U. So A union B means what? Union of A and B means it includes all those elements X such that X belongs to A and X belongs to B. Means what, students? In the union of A and B, union of A and B will include all those elements which are in both the sets, which are in set A as well as in set B. As with the name union means together, it will include all the elements of both the sets. And you will denote union by this sign, capital U. Is that fine? Universal set also you are denoting it by capital U. You can just use this capital U with this sign. For universal set, just for no confusion with you all, denote it like this, capital U with this. Okay? And for union, it is just simply capital U. Okay? Just for no confusion. Universal set, you just denote it like this. And for union, you just make it a simple capital U. Okay? So, universal union, we have already studied what it is. If we have 2 sets A and B, union of A and B will include all those elements which are both in set A as well as in set B. And one thing is important, that no element is repeated. Okay? No element should be repeated. And what about Venn diagrams? Through Venn diagrams, how we shall represent it? So again we have universal set which is represented through rectangle, right? So in this we have 2 sets now, set A and set B. This is set A and set B. So union of A and B will be represented by this shaded portion. This is union, shaded portion is A union B, because it will include elements from both the sets, right? So this will be my A union B. This shaded portion will be A union B. Right, students? So union, first operation, is it clear? Everyone? Let us see properties of union subsets now. We have some properties as we have in numbers, like commutative property, associative property, distributive property, right? We have already studied like those properties. So similarly, we are going to study properties here. So first property, same, commutativity. A union B will be always equal to B union A. Order will not matter, whether you take first as A or you will take first as B. So A union B will be always equal to B union A. This is commutative law. Second one, associative. A union B union C will be equal to A union B union C. A union B union C will be equal to A union B union C. So this is associative law with respect to sets. Third important property is, if you have any set and if you take union of this set with empty set, if you take union of this set with empty set,